Hello, and in this live session os voy a hablar sobre cómo hablar realmente sobre el medio ambiente en inglés, ya que considero que es uno de los temas que a la gente quizás al planteárselo para un examen o algo así le puede resultar un poco más difícil hablar de ello, incluso en español. Entonces he preparado esta sesión para inspiraros, a ver cómo podéis hablar sobre el medio ambiente en inglés. Hello to everybody, welcome to everybody that is joining. Hoy he preparado un documento compartido, que bueno, yo lo tengo aquí en mi ordenador, pero lo podéis encontrar en mi perfil, si queréis quizás abrirlo en el ordenador a la misma vez o algo así. Tengo las preguntas que voy a mencionar hoy. Básicamente os quiero inspirar sobre cómo hablar del medio ambiente en inglés, ya que considero que es un tema que quizás os puede costar incluso en español hablar de ello. Hello. Os puede costar incluso en español hablar sobre medio ambiente, entonces, a ver, tampoco soy súper experta, ¿no? Pero me interesa hasta cierto punto. Entonces he podido preparar la sesión así por adelantado, está en un documento compartido, están todas las preguntas, he puesto una lista de vocabulario, un montón de enlaces también. Esto va enfocado mayormente a gente que quizás tiene de un B1 en adelante, incluso la gente más avanzada seguro que va a aprender un montón hoy. Hello. Pero la gente que quizás es más principiante puede ser un poco abrumador y seguro que hay aquí cosas que no os va a venir bien, así que si sois principiantes, intentar centraros más en vocabulario que sea un poco más sencillo, como yo que sé, reciclar o algo así, porque me meten bastante detalle en cosas un poco más complejas. Ok, pues hay un documento compartido en mi perfil, si estáis listos voy a empezar. Entonces básicamente la dinámica de hoy va a ser que yo sola voy a hablar de las cosas y os voy a ir explicando cosillas, ¿vale? Y espero poder inspiraros a ver cómo podéis hablar sobre el medio ambiente en inglés. Esto es un poco parecido a lo que yo haría en mis clases, pero normalmente en mis clases como que serían 2 personas y yo iría corrigiendo, pero tened paciencia conmigo que es la primera vez que voy a hacer la dinámica esta, ¿vale? Pero eso, que voy a ir hablando, voy a ir explicando, ¿ok? So, los que os acabáis de unir, hay un documento compartido en mi perfil donde está todo lo que voy a mencionar hoy, ¿vale? Okidoki, pues, primeramente, si tenéis que acostumbraros a hablar sobre un tema que no estáis acostumbrados a hablar ni siquiera en español, o os plantean una pregunta quizás en un examen o algo así, ¿qué hacemos, no? Primer consejo, si te quedas atascado, es mejor que empieces hablando de algo de lo que estás seguro o segura. Por ejemplo, una definición obvia de lo que es. O sea, yo no tengo ni idea de fútbol, pero podría describirte qué es el fútbol, ¿no? Vale, empezamos por ahí, comemos tiempo con esto. Si te quedas atascado con alguna pregunta, o sea, con alguna palabra en concreto, mi truco es decir la palabra española con acento de guiri. Y funciona, que te lo diga Lucía. Lucía estará por aquí en algún momento. Ella lo hizo hace poco en un examen y le funcionó. Este consejo me lo dio una amiga que es examinadora de Cambridge. Al final a ellos les da igual si te olvidas de una palabra. La cuestión es que sepas hablar en general. Entonces, a veces pasa, ¿no? Que es la palabra clave de todo lo que quieres decir. Pues tú imagínate que tenemos que hablar, yo que sé, sobre sillas y tienes que describir una silla y te has olvidado de cómo decir silla. Pues es mejor que digas I like sillas, sillas are very good. Y que el otro diga, este se le ha ido la olla. Pero que todo lo demás sea correcto, ¿no? Entonces, hablando del sentido del medio ambiente, cualquier tipo de cosa que es así un poco técnico, científico o algo así, muchas veces va a funcionar eso de hacer el Spanglish porque como las palabras se parecen tanto, igual va a ser muy parecido o algo así. Habrán pocos false friends en este sentido, porque es un vocabulario que todo parte como del latín y todo eso. Aparte de eso, os recomendaría que os acostumbráis a hacer en vuestras casas algún tipo como de esquema de cómo plantear temas en general. Entonces, por ejemplo, podrías empezar por una descripción obvia de lo que es, el origen de algo, tu opinión, pros y contras, luego tu opinión. Y si todavía te sobra tiempo, podrías, por ejemplo, contar una historia sobre ello. Por ejemplo, yo que sé, yo no tengo ni idea de fútbol, pero te podría decir, pues, hay una película que trata sobre una chica que quería ser como Beckham y tal y cual, y aunque no entienda de fútbol, puedo comerme tiempo contando esto. Otro truco en general para exámenes, es más interesante a veces una mentira que la verdad. Entonces, si te preguntan, por ejemplo, ¿te gustan los plátanos? Thank you. Y que tú digas, pues no como nunca plátanos, pues ya está, ¿qué más vas a decir? A ellos les da igual realmente si comes o no plátanos, entonces será mucho más interesante decir, sí, como plátanos todos los días y los pongo en un batido y que es muy bueno para la salud y que yo que sé, hago pasteles con plátanos y que te metes un rollo, ¿no? Porque una mentira va a ser a veces más interesante que la verdad. Entonces, cuando se trata del medio ambiente, a veces, bueno, yo que sé, a lo mejor ni reciclas, ni tienes ni idea de nada, pero conceptos te suenan, entonces la cuestión es que hables por hablar, no que seas un enterado del tema, ¿vale? Eso empezando por ahí. Pero si vais a un examen, pues ya que estamos, si podéis leeros algunos artículos o algo así, medio acelerar del tema, pues mejor que mejor. Entonces he puesto un montón de enlaces en el documento compartido. Tenemos las preguntas que voy a ir tocando ahora y después de cada pregunta he puesto un artículo que es como relacionado a la pregunta, pero luego abajo del todo he puesto también como un montón de diferentes enlaces que considero que pueden ser interesantes, sobre todo para la gente un poco más avanzada, si queréis ver cómo se utiliza mucho del vocabulario que he puesto en la lista, o para más o menos entender del tema. Ok, pues bueno, voy a ir empezando, ¿vale? Voy a ir haciendo preguntillas y si alguien me quiere también responder por aquí, o sea, yo encantadísima de la vida de ir corrigiendo sobre la marcha, ¿vale? Sí, en el examen de la Escuela Oficial de Idiomas tienes que hacer monólogo, entonces para el monólogo está muy guay si antes de empezar, si te haces un esquema de lo que vas a decir en lugar de hacer como una redacción enorme. Es mi recomendación, se aprovecha muchísimo mejor el tiempo, así con palabras clave, que te organices el monólogo así. Anyway, si alguien quiere responder a las preguntas que yo voy a mencionar, encantadísima la vida que me dejéis aquí vuestro parrafito y ahora os corrijo también. Okay, so what are some types of pollution? So I'm not an expert at all on pollution. I'm a normal person. I haven't studied anything about this. But I think from the top of my head, I could probably say that you have like air pollution. You have like littering, which is throwing rubbish down on the floor. You have water pollution, like you have like factories and stuff that like they throw horrible things out in the water. You have like noise pollution as well, like si tienes que hacer esquemas, pero no te dejaban ese papel, no me digas. Pues yo tenía entendido que la gente que yo he ayudado sí que les han dejado el papel, ¿eh? Igual le ha cambiado la cosa, no lo sé. Hi Abel, how are you? Anyway, so yeah, some kinds of pollution. So I'm not an expert on pollution, but you have a link there as well that will go into more details. I think plastic pollution is a very big one, for example, but also like all of the smoke and everything that we have from cars and from factories, I think that's a very big one. So like air pollution. So like for example, also like in the sea we have I don't know if that's categorized as a different one than like water pollution, but I would definitely give a lot of emphasis on the whole fishing issue, because the fishermen, they throw the nets out in the sea, in the water, when they're finished with them, and it's a big impact to the wildlife. Si no me entendéis algo me podéis preguntar abajo, no hay problem at all. De todas formas estoy enfocando esto más a la gente que tiene quizás de un B2 o un C1 o un C2, la gente que es quizás un poco más principiante. Encantada si me queréis hacer un montón de preguntas por aquí, yo contesto encantadísima. Okay, so are there litter laws where you live, and if so, what is the penalty for littering? Littering significa cuando tiramos un cigarro, un paquete de algo, una botella así al suelo. No es cualquier basura, es más bien como la basura como cotidiana, como un chicle, un cigarro, una cajita de algo, ¿sabes? Algo así pequeñito, un papel que lo puedes tirar así al suelo. Eso será littering, to litter, porque el litter en sí es la basura como de la papelera, ¿no? Que no es una basura como de comida, por ejemplo, o algo así. So as far as I saw here in the link, I believe the litter law in England, the penalty would be, I think, £75 if you're caught littering. Entonces, si te pillan haciendo littering, sería if you're caught littering. Entonces, caught, voy a escribir aquí. Yeah, to be caught littering sería si te pillan tirando a la basura. Have you ever thought about teaching Spanish through English? Well, I'm about to start actually with a Spanish teacher that may be working for me. We're going to experiment with this. I've never thought of her perhaps teaching Spanish through English, but like I think I have heard of the method. I'm not a Spanish teacher though. That's why I'm gonna hire her. But I will definitely suggest it to her. That's definitely an interesting thing. Thank you for the suggestion. I try to avoid plastic in the day-to-day life. I don't use plastic bags to keep the fruit that I buy at the supermarket. So instead of keep, because keep would be like, si lo guardas en la casa, I would say take, to take it home. And so to take the fruit that I buy at the supermarket, that reduces the use of plastic a lot. Yes, definitely. There's a link that I've put around here that is about zero waste, which is a very interesting lifestyle. So for example, I have a metal bottle and I also have like a reusable straw. But there's lots of different products that you can replace that are disposable. For example, I also have, you know, cling film. Lo voy a apuntar aquí. Ahí. So cling film es el papel de plástico para los bocadillos. So instead of using cling film, I have like a special fabric that has wax on it. So it's reusable, I think, for 1 year. So I just wash it when I'm finished with it, and then I can put a sandwich in there, or if I, for example, cut like half an onion or something to store the fruit that I buy. Well, what she was trying to say, I believe, is that when she's at the supermarket, she takes her own bag so that she can take it home, and then at home, I assume she just puts it in a bowl, so she doesn't need a bag when she's at home, I think, but maybe she did mean like to store it. Maybe. So store would be almacenar, para los que no lo sepáis. Okay, so letter laws. I don't know what the penalty would be in Spain, but I think in Spain it's very funny because like the police just does like whatever they want. Like they just apply what law they fancy to who they fancy actually. So there's probably actually lots of laws about it, but it just depends if the policeman likes you or not. Yeah, because I think in Spain and in England, lots of people litter. But in England, I find that there are some areas, most areas of the country are a lot cleaner than in Spain. I remember when I was 20, I came to live in England, and I remember walking down the street and I had this feeling that something was going to happen. And I was like, why is everything so clean? And I realized, I thought there was going to be an event of some kind, but that was only I only had that feeling because the street was so clean. And I'm used to in Spain, before like a carnival or something, they normally clean the streets. And there wasn't a carnival due or anything in this town where I was staying. But I think I was just so used to seeing rubbish all over the place that it just felt like something was going to happen. Strange. But in general, England is quite clean. But for example, the county that I live in at the moment, I would say it's quite dirty. You leave my county and suddenly it's definitely a lot cleaner. Oh, hello to Venezuela. Yeah, it's a shame. And I think I put it down here as well. The way that they collect rubbish in England and in Spain, I think is wrong. I think in Spain it's definitely a lot better than in England, the system. So basically in England, everyone has their individual bins at home. So they have four bins. So one is for organic, another one is for all the rubbish, like all the things that are going to landfill. and another one is for the recyclables, I think. I don't really know how it works, but we have like 3 or 4 bins. And they collect it like every 2 weeks or something. I think it depends on the county. But you're responsible for your rubbish, and if when they check it they're not happy with the way that you've disposed of things, they won't collect your rubbish, so you will have to keep that rubbish for an extra week. And I think the bad thing about this system is that with the recycling in England, they don't give you a lot of space to recycle things, and then in the supermarket they give you like a lot of plastic. Like everything has plastic in England in the supermarket for food, like for fruit and vegetable and that. There's a lot of packaging, so they give you the same space for your recycling bin and for your non-recycling. It makes it very difficult to recycle more than not recycle, especially like if it's just been Christmas or a birthday and you have lots of boxes. It makes it very hard. And for example, I don't drive, so I can't just like take all the cardboard in my car or something. So lots of people, unfortunately, they fly tip. Fly tip significa cuando... hola! Fly tipping es cuando coges, por ejemplo, una nevera o algo así que no puedes como deshacerte de ello y como que lo sueltas en el bosque o al lado de la carretera o algo así. Fly tipping. Está en la lista de vocabulario. So do you think your book can help people with C1 level? I think my book can help people... I would say with any level, like if you're beginning, si estás empezando y te lees mi libro, te va a dar como un buen como enfoque desde el principio de cómo debería de ser. Pero desde luego que si tienes un nivel más avanzado todavía se puede aplicar. O sea, yo todavía estoy aprendiendo. Mi madre lleva casada con un guiri que 30 años y todavía está aprendiendo. Creo que es una cosa que no para nunca, entonces considero que el libro es para todo el mundo. De hecho, lo voy a adaptar también, lo voy a traducir al inglés y lo voy a adaptar a aprender cualquier idioma, porque considero que es bastante flexible en todos los sentidos aprender un idioma. Thank you for asking. So in central London, it's quite hard to find a bin. People say it's because of the terrorist attacks. Actually, there's a funny story about that. When I've been in an office in England, like I remember I had a paper that I didn't need anymore, and I said, "Can you just throw it away?" They were like, "No, we're not allowed to have bins." So literally, people that work in offices in England, they don't have a little bin. They have to take their own rubbish home because they can't dispose of things at work. It wasn't only for me. It was literally for anyone that was in the building. They weren't allowed to dispose of anything, and that's also because of the terrorist attacks. But yeah, that's another issue. I'm gonna go back to the questions. Si queréis, podéis ver el documento compartido. El enlace está en mi perfil. Aquí está todo lo que vamos a tocar hoy. Y bueno, voy a hacer unas preguntillas. Si queréis contestar aquí en un comentario, yo también os corrijo, no problem at all. So, do you think there are lessons to learn from nature? Si creo que hay lecciones que se puede aprender de la naturaleza. Esto es algo que fácilmente, si os preguntaran en un examen, por ejemplo, sobre medio ambiente, que podéis como integrarlo, ¿no? En plan de, ay, me parece muy mal que la gente hoy en día hace esto porque mira, la naturaleza pues funciona así. Voy a ver un segundo. So, if you notice, in nature, everything has a value. Nothing goes to waste. Not only in the food chain, but in general, in nature, like if there's a dead animal, it will be absorbed by the ground and, you know, give nutrients to the ground for the plants to grow. And, you know, that's that cycle, like everything is used. But we are animals that we're not efficient at all. Like, no other animal leaves our footprint. It's disgusting. We need to really learn to live without things that are disposable that we can't then recycle or reuse. So I'm really in favor of buying things secondhand and reusing them as much as possible. And if you can't reuse it, try to think like, can you make something else out of those materials, for example? And if not, how do I responsibly dispose of it? There's always a way. I know it's very difficult as a consumer to worry about every single object that you have. but I think every object should be our responsibility, and it doesn't matter if it's a tissue or the plastic of a tissue, or if it's a whole piece of furniture or an old car. We should be responsible that when we're finished with an object, that, you know, when it's the end of the life of that object, that it's disposed of correctly. But yeah, no quiero tampoco regañar a nadie. But anyway, so how often is garbage collected in your neighborhood? So I've put a link here of the government website of the UK. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so the government website of the UK, and I thought that for more advanced people this might be a really interesting read, because it's in the same words that the government has worded it, on how to manage the waste in general. So I think that's very interesting. What can you do to prevent pollution? ¿Qué podemos hacer para prevenir la contaminación? Creo que esto es una muy buena cosa que podéis mencionar si os sale el tema del medio ambiente en el examen, o si tenéis que hablar de algo, porque todo el mundo tiene alguna idea básica de qué podemos hacer para mejorar, ¿no? Aunque sean las cosas más cliché de reciclar y ahorrar agua y cosas de estas, por lo menos podemos tirar por ahí. Pero desde luego que hay muchísimas otras formas. He puesto un enlace también en el documento compartido, bueno, seguramente que haya más de uno, sobre qué podemos hacer. So, for example, we can buy less things. I think that's like a very big step. Just buy less things. If you really don't need it, don't buy it. Like, I think that's good for your pocket, and it's just good in general, right? Shopping spree. Espera, te lo voy a apuntar aquí abajo. Shopping spree significa como cuando te vas de compra y en plan te explayas, como digo yo, ¿no? Te explayas de compras. Eso sería shopping spree. So, for example, shopping sprees in Primark and things like that, they're terrible for the environment. Like, we live in a consumer society where we're constantly bombarded with marketing, like telling us buy more, buy more, buy more. And I mean, most of the things that we're told to buy we don't need, like a stupid like fidget spinner or things like that, like we don't need it. So we should be more intelligent than that, definitely. And we need to think before we buy something, do I really need this? Or is there another way of me, you know, having the same results but without buying it? Other than that, like maybe we could start like a renting or lending system. I think in some Scandinavian countries they have, I think, whole shopping centres dedicated to repairing, lending and renting. So you can rent clothes for your baby, for example. I think there's whole companies dedicated to that, like a box of clothes that they send you every time your baby grows. It's amazing. You could, I don't know, like use the car less, for example, as well. Plant-based diet. Like, I'm vegan, so I know that my opinion is bias. Bias es una muy buena palabra también. Bias es un poco difícil de explicar. Es como que mi opinión no es neutral, está influenciado por algo, ¿no? So I would say that my opinion is biased. Sorry, hello to everybody. I know I haven't been saying hello for a while, but I'm on a roll here. Hay un documento compartido en mi perfil, ¿vale? Donde están todas las preguntas y enlaces y vocabulario y todo lo que voy a hablar hoy, ¿vale? Yeah, I agree. It's better to not buy too many things. You're missing the S. But sometimes it's difficult. Yeah, especially on sales. I know, I'm always tempted. I'm going to do a flea next month to get rid of clothes that I don't use anymore. Yeah, too many things. I definitely think that's a good idea, but when you're doing that, like, definitely try to donate, to reuse, keep in a box maybe for the future because you might regret getting rid of stuff. Give to friends or family, and you can also try selling them. Like, even if you sold them really cheap, like, try selling them or giving them away on eBay or something like that. What was I going to say? I recommend the concept of capsule wardrobe. Fanny, if you're interested in the concept, I've definitely put it on the the links at the bottom. Capsule wardrobe. So I love this concept. I try my very best to have a capsule wardrobe. I think it's a very interesting way to stop yourself from buying unnecessary clothes when it's the sales. So what I do, okay, I will go on Pinterest and I will start a new board when I need to buy clothes, and I'll say like what styles would look nice on me, that I can combine like the same like types of trousers or something with different things, and I just try to calculate what I'm going to buy for that season. So once you have like a few styles in mind, you try to calculate like a color palette and you try to stick to that. So for example, I use blacks and reds with the occasional blue, and then I have like a few different styles. So for example, today I've got like business casual. I've also got like boyfriend trousers with a t-shirt sort of style, and then I've got lots of dresses and stuff like that. So I more or less stick to that. When something breaks, then I replace it, but I honestly try to not buy too much. So the concept of a capsule wardrobe is very interesting because it means basically having like, I don't know, 20 or 30, even if it were 50 pieces in total in your wardrobe, and limit yourself to that. So have, for example, four pairs of trousers, I don't know, 4 jumpers, 5 t-shirts, 2 jackets, 3 pairs of shoes, 2 pajamas. And that will be it. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. If you're shopping like quality, if you buy quality and like intelligent, you're shopping intelligently, that should be all you need. So when you're going on sales next time, then you can think, how will this complement my capsule wardrobe? And that's a very good way of stopping yourself from buying things that you buy and then you can never use with anything else, for example. Hola a todo el mundo que se acaba de unir. Hoy estamos hablando sobre medio ambiente porque considero que es un tema que a la peña le suele costar en general hablar de ello, incluso en español, y como es un tema que me interesa en general, pues estoy como de cháchara hablando un poco de ello, explicando conceptos y cosas así y dando consejillos sobre cómo podéis hablar de esto en inglés. En general me estoy enfocando hoy a gente que quizás tiene de un B2 en adelante, quizás un buen B1 también, pero si sois más principiantes puede ser que todo esto os parezca un poco abrumador porque estoy hablando de conceptos que quizás ni siquiera conocéis en español. Pero la gente que sea más avanzada, estoy segura que os va a beneficiar muchísimo. Y tengo un documento compartido donde he puesto todas las preguntas que voy a hablar, con enlaces, un montón de cosas de vocabulario que se me han ocurrido también haciendo una tormenta de ideas. Yeah. So, next question. I'm just going to have a little drink of water. So, do I think cars should be banned from city centres? I think this is a very interesting question that all cities should perhaps be asking. In fact, even some towns, right? Everyone complains about the cars. And I think when you're driving, you don't really want to go into the city centre. So I think if there were a very good system established in advance, like I think most people would be using it. And maybe you could have like a special permit to actually access the city centre, and they could limit the amount of people that enters. I know that there are lots of incentives in a lot of cities like Barcelona or whatever, but I still think it's lacking. So for example, the link that I've put here is an example of a city that is going to go all in with the idea, and I think it's Oslo. I don't know if they've already done it or they're going to. So do you think the myth of chemtrails is true? Can you please explain what you mean with chemtrails? ¿Me lo puedes explicar un poquito lo que quieres decir con chemtrails, please? Voy a volver a hablar sobre lo de los coches mientras. So yeah, I think that all of the big administration buildings should be on the outside of the city. And this would definitely stop a lot of people accessing the city centre. I know it's a pain in the ass to reorganise, but I do think it would make life easier once it's all changed. So just imagine that you need to go to Hacienda or something like that. Wouldn't it be easier if it was just like a big building on the outskirts of the city. I think so. So they could have like big parking lots and with lots of office buildings, and everyone wouldn't need to access the city centre to be able to do their everyday ordinary paperwork. And also the people that were working there, it would probably be easier to access. So the only people going to the city centre by car would probably just be the people that are shopping or that live there or that want to see like monuments and stuff. But for those people, in England we have park and ride. Park and ride es un concepto de... hi Lucia! Yeah, park and ride es un concepto de aparca el coche en un parking que está a las afueras de la ciudad y entonces de ahí puedes acceder al metro, tren o lo que sea que está muy accesible al centro, entonces incentiva a que la gente se deje en el coche en las afueras de la ciudad. Por cierto, las afueras sería outskirts. Ok, lo voy a escribir por aquí. Lucia, I'm going to continue until I finish all the questions that I have here. I don't know what time that will be. I've been about half an hour and I still have quite a few to go. There's a shared document in my profile on a link that you can check out with all the questions, and I'm also going to post this when I'm finished so you can like review it later, no problem. So today we're talking about the environment, porque considero que es un tema que a la peña le suele costar incluso en español, y espero que con esto también, yo que sé, consiga inspiraros a que también investiguéis un poquito, no solo por el tema del inglés, sino en general, pero además, o sea, si es un tema que consideras que te cuesta, ya sea fútbol o lo que sea, y tienes un examen, pues podrías leer unos artículos por anticipado, ¿no? Para que más o menos te suenen las cosas. So I've put lots of links in the shared document if you guys want to check it out, especially for more advanced people. I think this might be very interesting. And feel free to ask me any questions now or later on when you're checking it about any of the vocabulary or anything that I may have mentioned now. No problem at all. Eso, que me podéis mandar mensajes si tenéis preguntas ahora o después, no problem. A ver lo que me ha dicho Abel sobre esto. Chemtrails son los vapores que los aviones dispersan en el cielo para evitar la lluvia. En España está muy de moda ese tema. Pues la verdad es que me suena el concepto, pero no podría darte una respuesta así bien educada sobre el tema. I think it's definitely something that I would like to look into. And I'm going to add it in the document as well for people. So thank you very much for teaching me that. Pero si creo o no creo en ello, I don't really have an opinion, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm going to continue with the questions. Bueno, ¿vosotros qué opináis? Should we ban cars from city centers? ¿Deberíamos de prohibir los coches de los centros de la ciudad? Y si es así, ¿cómo? ¿Cómo deberíamos de implementar este cambio, no? Dejadme un comentario y yo los corrijo. Ok, voy a pasar a la siguiente pregunta mientras. So, who do you think is more responsible for pollution? Individual people or the government? And explain. I do think that this is something interesting that you guys could be mentioning if you have to do like a monologue or something and you suddenly have to speak about the environment, because I think there's a lot of debate about this. People tend to think that it's the government and big multinational companies that need to make the changes and that we are only victims of what they offer us. But I don't believe in that. I think, power to the people, and I think that we have a lot more power than we like to think that we have. So maybe it's just my punk influence because my dad was a punk, but I'm a little bit anti things that are already established. But yeah, I do believe that the consumer has a lot more power than the consumer likes to think. And I mean, in the end, the money that you have, you're like voting for what you're supporting. So if I believe in metal bottles, I'm going to buy a metal bottle, and then with my money, that company can grow. And little by little, all these companies are benefiting from the votes of the consumer. So when the consumer stops believing in something in a massive scale, then companies die. And governments have to admit these changes. The same as like feminism and racism and everything else. It was the people really that took power in the change of mentality. It certainly wasn't the government. They were trying to fight back. So I think I'll see you later. Oh, okay, bye. Yeah, I think in general, people tend to think that they don't have power, but we can change a lot more than we like to believe. So for example, with the environment, if we just sit down and we just wait for the governments to do all the work, like we are the majority, like come on people, we can do this, right? So if we really say like this is enough, I do believe that we can stop. But of course, the governments and stuff, they also have power, so like we need to be pressuring them to do things as well. So it's a little bit of both. Okay, I'm just going to correct you guys. So with electric cars, that's no problem. Well, I suppose that electric cars will probably have their own issues. For example, transporting the car, that tends to be an issue. Os voy a explicar el concepto de las emisiones de CO2, like the carbon footprint. En inglés decimos que es como tu huella de carbón, your carbon footprint. So I would like to compare different brands and different electric cars and things like that, because sometimes it's better to buy a car that was manufactured like locally or something like that, but it's petrol, than to buy a car that's hybrid or electric and comes from quite far. That's also like the controversy of electric cars. And also to bear in mind that the electricity that you are using has to be produced somehow. So if you have a car that you have to plug in, wonder as well, where is that electricity coming from? Because sometimes it's also the residues of farms, which is also supporting the animal farming industry, or maybe it comes from a nuclear reactor, or even just the batteries themselves can be really damaging. So I don't think there's one perfect way with alternative energies and stuff like that. I think they tried to tell us that electric cars are better, and they should be better, and they will be better in the future, but we're still working towards that actually being possible, I think. Although Teslas may be different, I don't know. Tengo un amigo con un Tesla. Un día tendré que subir una historia en el coche de mi amigo. Anyway, since we can't ban cars from running, it makes little sense to ban them from certain areas. Well, if you banned them from the city centre, it would be incentivizing people to take public transport, which is more eco-friendly, or to take a bike, or to question if they actually want to go out on that day if it's very inconvenient. Because at the moment we're putting convenience over the environment. So just because something is inconvenient, it doesn't mean it's better or worse. We should be considering these options. But I do think it's also a very controversial topic, and I agree with you in a way. So they should ban cars, not only from the city centre. Well, we shouldn't be so radical. Like, there's obviously lots of benefits to having cars in general, right? I don't think being like drastic like that is also the solution, but maybe we should limit the use. Maybe that's the solution. Like maybe you should have like a timer of how many like kilometers or whatever you can use your car. Maybe that would be a good solution. Absolutely, they must ban cars by giving more options of buses and trains. More options of buses and trains, yeah, for example. And also buses and trains should also be improved, like the way that they're made. I think there are some buses that run on hydrogen or something like that, and that's better. That rings a bell. I think there are definitely alternatives, and that we're working towards, but I think we should definitely be pushing those alternatives a lot more than we're doing. Okay, Fanny, see you later. So lower the price of vehicles without motor. How bikes? No, like bikes. Entonces la palabra like no lo utilizamos solamente para gustar, también es un comparativo. Por ejemplo, Cameron Diaz looks like my friend. Okay? So lowering the price of vehicles without motor is definitely a good idea, but I think in our society people are very lazy, so that might work for certain people. That might be okay being active, but people that are lazy or just busy and don't have time, like me with children, like I can't take my children with a bike everywhere. This is not Holland. I wish I had one of those Dutch bikes that are like a bus. That is so cool, but I would be so tired at the end of the day. I need a car, and I don't think everyone can afford to, have a bike for many different reasons. I think that's definitely an interesting alternative. But instead of having drastic measures, I think we need to find solutions to what we actually are using. But the electric cars need a battery, and batteries are made from from lithium extracted from mining. Not very clean energy, perhaps, don't you think? Exactly, that's the controversy of it. I think that also happens with solar panels. In theory it's a good idea, but in theory, mobile phones and everything else, like, we just need overall better solutions. So I think in the meantime, maybe we need to weigh out. Weigh out is un buen phrasal verb. Weigh out significa como hacer una balanza de algo. I think maybe we should weigh out the pros and the cons, and each consumer make an educated choice or decision. But the problem is right now people are not really evaluating their choices. They're just going with the marketing, the fashions, the trends, what looks prettier, or what brand says more because I'm cooler than you. But we should really be, it's just like democracy and voting. We need to be thinking more, right? But yeah, that's another topic. I'm in the park with my family and you can't listen. So I recommend that you check out the document that I've put on my profile in a link. Okay, it's a shared document, and it's got all the links and all the questions, all the vocabulary that I'm mentioning today. And I'm also going to be sharing this later, so no problem at all. Anywho, I'm going to continue. So this is a really good question. Las preguntas estas ahora que vienen, no he puesto ningún enlace porque considero que voy a hablar solamente de mi opinión y que no hay un bien y un mal. En mi opinión, no hay un bien y un mal, pero igual sí que hay estudios científicos que corroboren que lo mejor y lo peor es esto o lo otro. Pero en este caso voy a hablar nada más que de mi opinión, okay? So, what is the most important issue facing the environment today? In my opinion, it's global warming is a Chinese hoax. Oh my god. Okay. Not really. I don't think that's true. I'm not going to go into all the reasons why. I respect your opinion, but it's definitely a very serious thing that we really need to be tackling. And having that kind of mentality really doesn't help overall to put a solution to things. So I really advise that you check out the links that I've put in the document. That will definitely support all of my opinions as to why that's not true. Anyway, so I believe that the biggest issue that we are facing towards the environment is people's attitudes. That's it. Because if we had a different attitude, we would be more frugal. No sé si he puesto la palabra frugal. Espérate. No. Ok, pues voy a añadir por aquí frugal. Frugal means when you try to be as savvy as possible, like you try to... Bueno, frugal significa también lo mismo en español, ¿no? Pero bueno, igual no todo el mundo lo conoce. O sea, cuando tú intentas... como la abuela, ¿sabes? Que cuando terminas con una sábana porque está manchado y asqueroso, pues lo cortas y usas de trapos, ¿no? Es como sacar el máximo partido de las cosas y tirar las cosas menos a la basura y no comprar por comprar y todo esto, como las abuelillas antiguamente, ¿no? So I think people need to be more frugal and more intelligent and more considerate and compassionate, and we need to be more ethical consumers in general. So with a shift of attitude of people in general, I think we would definitely get a lot further than we're getting at the moment. Not that I'm saying that there is a solution or not, because there are so many things that are already implemented in society that it's very difficult to find alternatives, you know, just like that. But with just having that attitude change, I think would make a massive difference. Okay, bye Abel. You can definitely see this later. I'm going to be posting it, so yeah, let me know if you have any questions later. Thank you. So yeah, in my opinion, attitude. So next question. If you could choose one alternative energy source to develop, which one would you choose and why? So I think there's a lot of energy that is being wasted already, but even in our own homes, you know, or just in nature, like we need to be using more of all of that. Like there's probably a big list of, for example, like the movement of the waves, wind, I don't know, when we burn things or whatever, like we could be extracting the energy of so many different things, and so much energy just goes back up into the air and we're not using it. So we need to be more intelligent with the whole use of everything and have a better system for everything in general. Like, I know it's a bit off topic of the question, but for example, the water that we use, like for the toilet, like honestly, that's such a luxury to be throwing water down the toilet like that. I think the bath water and the water from washing your hands and things like that should be saved, and then that could be used, for example, for the toilet. Or there are alternative toilets as well. I've got a normal toilet, of course, you know, I'm not rich or, you know, whatever, I can't buy an expensive alternative toilet, but I do think that this sort of thing, like we need to reconsider it, because in our society we use water, like we have fountains and stuff like that, you know, this is a luxury for most countries in the world, you know, and we take it for granted. And we open the tap and we you know, we do everything with the tap open and we just don't think about it. And it's such a luxury as well. So I think in general we could definitely be more savvy, más inteligentes, more savvy with how we use most things. So are companies more or less responsible now than they were in the past, and why do you think that is? I think there definitely is a change of mentality in general. For example, there's more and more people that are going vegan. There's more and more companies that are trying like alternative packaging and things like that. But I don't know if the speed it's going at is enough. That's the problem. But like, if you think about it, in the 80s, like people, it was cool to throw something on the floor. It's like, yeah, I don't care, you know? And that's not cool anymore. Like if you see somebody throwing a paper on the floor, it's like, excuse me, what are you doing? Like, and the person that threw it on the floor will be embarrassed. So I do think that there's being like a change of mentality. I think most businesses are trying to pick up on it. Like Lego is trying to create alternative Lego that's not made of plastic. IKEA has created like a box that's made of mushrooms that then like consumes itself or something. Like big corporations are definitely trying alternative straws and stuff like that. But whether that's enough or not, I do not know, unfortunately. We probably need to be tackling bigger issues than plastic straws, I think. But anyway, what's happening to forests in the world? So, this is called deforestation. And it happens for many different reasons. It could be to plant some other things. Like they're cutting down the Amazon, right, for... I don't know if it's soya or rice or I don't know, they're like different crops in general, and also for farming. I'm vegan, so I know that maybe I'm going to be speaking in favor of veganism, but it is a fact that they are, like, you can see the documentary Cowspiracy, for example, if you don't believe me. So they are cutting down the Amazon forest to put cow farms. Like, it's not the only thing that they're cutting it down for, it's also palm oil and other things like that. But, you know, like, why would you cut down the lungs of the planet to put something there that's so damaging for the planet? It doesn't make sense. And of course, I'm going to also mention that I think veganism is probably one of the best solutions to save the planet, but that's my opinion, and I respect people that don't think that. Global warming is a battle that cannot be won. Yeah, but that attitude isn't going to really help in general. Like, if everyone had a shift of mentality and actually implemented changes, like, who am I to say? We should pick the battles that we can win. Yeah, but if we're all going to die from global warming, isn't it better that we die having tried to fix things? Surely. Instead of just giving up and saying, like, why would I? Like, even if that's the only reason, I think that's enough. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah, the forests. Like, there's many different reasons why they're cutting down the forests. It's terrible. Global warming is an industry run by very hypocrites. Yeah, like, of course, there are very evil people that are doing some very evil things. But I do think that if we stop giving, like, Unilever money and that sort of thing, that's definitely going to make a big impact. Everyone cannot have a change of heart. Well, no, the same as, like, sexism. Like, there's also people that are still raping women and murdering and, you know, murdering their wives and things like that with sexism, but it doesn't mean that people are going to stop fighting against sexism or racism and slavery and things like that. Like, you know, we've obviously changed that. I do think that there is power in the people, and I think having a negative attitude isn't going to really help in general. But anyway, I'm going to continue with the questions. So, in what ways can we save more water? Please tell me your experiences. So, a very easy one would be to not bath and to have a shower instead, right? That's one that we've all heard. And probably when you're, like, washing the dishes and stuff like that, like, you could probably just use, like, an efficient dishwasher. Or look into ways that maybe washing your clothes, you could do it in a more efficient way, for example. Reusing your bath water to water your plants and stuff like that. You could probably collect rainwater for that as well. Yeah, there's lots of different ways that we can save water, definitely. What should we do to increase the awareness about environmental pollution? That's a very good question. So I think we should be campaigning it more, like, you know, with the government and in schools, educating people, like educating children. But we should also, like, force normal people to really listen or watch some, like, David Attenborough or someone like that really knows what they're talking about. I think everyday people, they like to just not listen in general. Like, about their health, about, you know, different things. They just prefer not to know. So I think these people, that we should be trying to make these people listen, because most people are good people, in my opinion, and as soon as, you know, they will be, as soon as people think and they realize, they normally have a shift, but, you know, there's some people that are more difficult to get to, so that's why you've got different kinds of activism, different kinds of campaigns. And this is the last question now. So, do you have any ideas on how to minimize the use of plastic bags and styrofoam boxes? So, there are alternatives now that are compostable, I think the word is, or biodegradable. For example, they can be made of some very good cardboard, depending on what it is, bamboo or hemp or something like that that's organic. There's a few different alternatives. I think also sugarcane is an alternative to plastic. There's definitely options. With plastic bags, you can have a fabric bag. With straws, you can have, like, a metal straw, for example, or a bamboo straw, something like that. I think as long as you're, like, mentalized, hi Monse, I think as long as you're mentalized to look for alternatives, I think that's the biggest change. It's not that you find it or not, it's the matter of that you're looking for it. For example, instead of using a straw, just don't use a straw. You know, things like that. Oh, thank you, Monse. Bueno, esto lo voy a colgar en cuanto termine, no problem at all. Y bueno, recuerdo que está todo también en el documento compartido. Esto es ya la última pregunta, ya la que acabo de hacer. Así que, bueno, espero haberos ayudado a, en general, a hablar del medio ambiente Y bueno, si ya que estoy os inspiro también a que hagáis algún cambio, pues mejor que mejor, ¿no? Por supuestísimo, pero considero que si más o menos estáis informados sobre dónde podéis tirar al hablar de medio ambiente, os va a ayudar mucho. Entonces, si por ejemplo os dicen, yo que sé, en la Escuela Oficial de Idiomas, hey, tienes que hacer un monólogo sobre medio ambiente, ¿no? Igual puedes utilizar alguno de los puntos que he mencionado aquí, pues para eso, hablar por hablar y rellenar un poquito de tiempo, por así decirlo. No tienes por qué decir verdades. En un examen puedes decir cosas que no son verdad. Por ejemplo, si no crees en la globalización, a lo mejor puedes decir que sí o al revés, porque a veces en un examen pues no es tan importante el que sí o que no sea verdad, sino lo que tú crees que tiene más palique, por así decirlo. Y yo os recomiendo, no este tema, sino en general cualquier tema. Si tú crees que te va a ser un examen, investiga un poquito de antemano. Como yo he puesto aquí algunos enlaces, podríais hacer más o menos lo mismo con cualquier otro tema y estar un poquito más informados, y entonces puedes decir, por ejemplo, ay, pues mira, he visto que en esta película sale tal, o yo que sé, una noticia sobre lo que sea, y también se va a comer un poquito más de tiempo. No, Lucía, guapa, no voy a continuar, ya he hecho todas las preguntas, como dije, estoy a puntito de llegar ya a la hora. Así que bueno, me encantaría si me pudierais proponer el siguiente tema, porque hoy he hecho esto más que nada porque a la gente les suele costar mucho hablar sobre este tema, ¿no? Cuando les digo, venga, ¿por qué tema empezamos? Me suelen decir, no tengo ni idea de cómo hablar de medio ambiente en inglés. Entonces, por eso he decidido empezar con este, pero si tenéis algún otro tema que digáis, es que ni idea, me encantaría si me pudierais dejar un comentario aquí o mandarme un mensaje directo, o a lo mejor hago también así algo en las historias preguntando, porque realmente lo que voy es ayudaros. Espero no haberos dado demasiado el pelmazo con esto de regañaros con el medio ambiente. Es que me duele mucho todo esto también, entonces hablo desde ese punto de vista. Pero por supuesto hay otros puntos de vista, como hemos visto hoy en los comentarios. Hay gente que no cree en ello y bueno, hay opiniones para todo. Pero bueno, he puesto artículos en el enlace compartido, o sea, en el documento compartido. Si queréis investigar un poquito más sobre los puntos que he mencionado hoy, sobre todo la gente un poco más avanzada, os puede venir bien porque aparece bastante vocabulario en estos textos. Y bueno, insisto que si tenéis luego alguna pregunta sobre estos textos, algo que he dicho o cualquier otra cosa, me podéis mandar mensajes directos, no hay problema at all. Yo estoy encantadísima de la vida de poder ayudaros. Me queda un minutito, así que no voy a poder tampoco entrar en detalles sobre el vocabulario ni nada, pero si al mirar el vocabulario tenéis dudas sobre cómo utilizarlo, podríais mirar en internet, ya sea en un diccionario o alguna cosa así, y si no os queda claro el uso también podéis preguntar sin problema. Otra forma también en la que podéis ver el uso, podríais mirar en Lingui, porque Lingui os va a decir como la traducción, pero dentro de un párrafo. Entonces ese párrafo va a estar traducido, entonces tú puedes ver el uso que se le da en tu idioma y si es consistente con el uso que tú le quieres dar, pues ver cómo se ha traducido, y seguramente se puede haber traducido de varias formas, que es muy interesante, pero tener en cuenta que esto no son traducciones verificadas. Así que no, a veces las traducciones tampoco son precisas. Tengo experiencia que mis padres son traductores y se pasan la vida enfadados por un motivo u otro, que la gente no traduce las cosas bien. Pero bueno, que hay muchísimas palabras ahí que se me ocurrieron así haciendo una tormenta de ideas, seguro que hay más. Y nada, bueno, se me está terminando ya el tiempo, así que nada, espero haberos ayudado con este tema. Yo me he enrollado y luego si queréis volver a verlo y tenéis preguntas sobre algo que he dicho, de verdad que estoy encantadísima de la vida de poder ayudar. So yeah, I will see you next week. La semana que viene voy a hacer un directo con un amigo mío. Vamos a hablar sobre la diferencia entre Inglaterra y España. Bueno, las diferencias en general. Él no habla tampoco muy bien inglés, así que vamos a hacer como si fuera una clase. Él es un amigo que viene de España que me va a venir a visitar. Así que si vosotros tenéis también alguna cosa que queráis que mencione sobre la diferencia entre Inglaterra y España, también encantadísima de la vida de mencionarlo. Si tenéis alguna pregunta, por ejemplo, si vais a venir a vivir aquí o algo así, pues también lo voy a poder mencionar. No problem at all. So, yeah, voy a sacar la fecha y la hora del siguiente directo en un momentito, así que estaros al tanto de mis historias. Thank you very, very much for joining me today, and thank you for also participating in the comment section. And yeah, I will see you next week and have a fantastic Sunday evening. Thank you very much. Bye! Bye, everybody! Bye!